Yeah, we find her, that beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So it goes out, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. Ain't nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, smiling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl? Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing
one loving her. We done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on, my people? How are your day? Hopefully you guys can hear me well, right? Let me see. Chinye Day here, D-Love Day here. I appreciate you all. How you doing? How you guys doing? I really wasn't sure if I could make it tonight because it's kind of late. But and it's not our usual time. Our usual time is 5 p.m. I'm in the middle of something, so I can't really, until after next week. I can't really do our regular time. But thank you, Jared. Loud and clear. Right. So as you can see, I'm in a hotel room, so I'm away. But we're here. Let's talk about this stuff here. Welcome back. All right. I'm also looking at some numbers with the platform, and maybe there's some things we can switch up. And I did ask many of us that did not reply. There's only one person that sent me, one person. And it's a shame. Okay, it's a shame. I know everybody is busy, but do me a favor. Go back to the chat and reply me. Give me your feedback. Okay, I asked for a feedback. All right, on the platform so that we can improve on what we're doing. So, the more the merrier. It just makes sense, right? I know you guys love it. I appreciate you, right? But let's bring in some more people into the platform, into the Prestige family, and you guys can help me by making sure you're engaged in any of the feedbacks that I'm asking about. So I'm a little bit off my base right now. I'm not in my regular, so I may be a little bit clumsy. It's my first. I think it's the first time I'm doing live. I've run some live broadcasts, but I haven't really done live. So please do me a favor. What's going on, keepers? Hello. I know some of you, I've been seeing some of you in other people's chat. I know you guys know I pay attention. So even late night shows, I see some of you inside of some of those late night shows, right? But welcome back. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios mobile on the road. I'm on the road. I am not inside the studios, right? And I'm actually outside of the country. But yes, by next week we'll be back to it as usual, but this is Man of Prestige, and over here we talk about, we use trendy topics to talk about marriage, stuff like that, honestly, just relationships, we barely touch on marriage because I don't think you need to talk about marriage if we don't talk about everything else. And when I say everything else, I'm talking about things like self-awareness, power dynamics, social intelligence, art of seduction, how attraction works, emotional intelligence, and that's basically the angle that we tackle things from. What I've also paid attention to lately is I noticed that when people assess this type of topics, everybody's playing detective. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to play detective. I think it was really, I think it's really cute. I started paying attention, like, wait, everybody's trying to play detective, like, oh, maybe this angle and this, like, I was like, yeah, nah, we're gonna stick to what we do, which is extract the relationship lessons, particularly using the surface value of what we can see. Because part of the things that I want us to understand is that assumptions are terrible when it comes to learning game, when it comes to acquiring game with respect to how romance works. Assumptions put you in a position where you have to be anxious. When you're anxious, you can't be patient. it's very hard to seduce if you're not patient, right? If you're making assumptions, right? And I get it. Sometimes it's easy to misconstrue, not to offer. It's easy to misconstrue what we're doing here for Ola is making assumption. No, I'm literally looking at the surface value. I'm extracting lessons for us, not the people, because I would never know what's truly happened in their situation, right? Nonetheless, if we look into the past 4 months, 5 months, maybe 3 years, how long have we been online? 2 years. Sorry, we just celebrated 2 years in October. If you pay attention to what has been going on, our intentions is not to predict. That's not my intention. But it's been pretty on point, you know. As you can see here, being a good guy is not the same thing as having the skills. In fact, I know some of you are going to get triggered with this. You can think you're a good guy. Let me say it that way. Maybe you will love that better. You can think you're a good guy and end up in a DV situation with your girlfriend who literally had a baby for you, right? And you can actually feel like you're a good guy. So now it's up to who's going to argue with you. Are you a good guy or you're not a good guy? Right? So it's tricky, and yeah. But let me say shout out to all our sponsors. You know, pardon my manners. Shout out to Mo Fresh, Richie, Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Team Marshall, Mama Gores Corner, D Love, of course. I appreciate you guys. All right. Now the last show we were at let me see, we were at $9.19 in terms of our monthly goal. Our monthly goal is $1,000 in all of the above to help us support the platform. And as of right now, today we're doing we're at $25.85. Shout out to you, even though I didn't come live. Shout out to you guys. $25.85. Okay, today is the 10th. All right, so we're on track. It's okay. You know, no matter how small, you can sponsor for as little as 99 cents. You can always see the dollar sign somewhere around the video. You can always see that. There. All right. But I want to say thank you. I appreciate you as always. Okay, for your support, for watching the videos, for hitting the like button. All of that helps. Okay. What else do we need to talk about? We do have a book launch going on in December, on December 30 to be precise, but we'll be doing the campaign all of December. All right, so I want you to look out for that. I'll be going live every day, maybe one day. I think there's a party on but one day. That's very close family. Remember Bola's mother? So I can't. Yeah, that day, maybe that one day, right? Because she's my second mother. So yeah, godmother, if you will. We don't really do godmother stuff, Nigeria people, but you know what I mean, right? So yeah, so we're going to be launching a new book, but in the meanwhile, we do have a book already that's been launched. We're going to be launching this book. Okay, you guys are seeing this backwards most likely. All right, there you go. Number one red flag, but this one you can download already right now for free. The books are free. Somebody said, Ola, you are saying people should read books because you are trying to sell books. I said the books are free. Are you mad? The books no, the truth is that if you go to other platforms, you have to pay for them. But if you're open to just the PDF is available for free. You know, you can download them from loveandprestige.com. All right, so yeah, we're going to talk about this Kiki Palmer stuff. Let's talk about it, but I'm going to cover some of the stories. We've covered it about 4 or 5 times in the past. All right, but in the story that I will read from people.com, I think we'll get some catch up as well, you know. But let me just say shout out to all those people. Leelas say I'm triggered. There's nothing good about this man. He's a dusty wahala. All right, mama, we'll get to it. How are you doing, by the way? I haven't seen you in a while. All right, so let's talk about it. You know, and you know, it's just very, very important. There's a video that I posted into the chat group. Oh, by the way, if you're not part of the chat group, okay, I need to keep promoting it, okay? Just go to lolaandlola.com/WhatsApp and join us there. Because, like, for example, this week that I'm traveling and stuff, you know, I still stay in touch. I post stuff back there and stuff like that. And other people are also having conversation every now and then. They're not having enough conversation, but they do. But Natu is engaged. Chinye is engaged. Many people are engaged there too, every now and then. And shout out to the young lady who sent me the feedback. The feedback was very, very useful, and I will pay attention to that. Thank you so much. Or you can just send a WhatsApp text message to 732-305-8577. We'll get you inside the group, okay? All right, so there's a video that I posted. I forgot, where did I get this? I'm trying to think of it right now. My brain is blank. I've been busy, you know. But I posted a video to, you know, that basically, there's a video with Louis Aoui, right? And every now and then I stop into this video. I'm subscribed to this channel, but I don't really follow. But this young lady, I'm like, this Asian young lady, she was just hitting it. About 12 minutes into me watching the video, I was like, I gotta share this, you know, and I share that into the group. So go check it out. If you're not part of the group yet, join the group, lolaandlola.com/WhatsApp. Okay. Chinye say, what's wrong with selling books though? That's why I said they're mad. Ola, I will send you my feedback. My bad. All right, thank you. I appreciate you. What was the question? Question. Which one? Which one of the questions? Which one of the questions are we talking about? Key pearls. What are we talking about? What did I say? Did I say something about a question somewhere? All right, let's talk about Kiki Palmer. Let's get into the story finally. Okay, let's get into this story. Let's bring us up to speed. We covered this in the past. Okay, she was showing us some, you know, you remember at the concert at Usher's show. Well, she was dancing on Usher. I don't think she was showing much, but it looks like it. You know how they have, you know, it looks like it. And this young man went on the internet and started dragging his own family. Either he likes it or not, this woman is going to be a part of his family. But the breaking news today is that she's filed a restraining order against him, and she's secured full custody of her baby. Now, the one that needed feedback. Oh, it's a long one. Oh, you need to. Are you not in the group chat? Join the group chat now. Just go to lolaandlola.com/WhatsApp. Okay, just go to that place and join and be a part of that. Yeah, but I'll see if I can post it in the community at some point. Okay, but it was just, I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on moving forward. All right. Let me see, Missy Alpha, what's going on? All right, so let's talk about this. So I covered this about 4 months ago, right? I covered this about 4 months ago, and it was today is proven that is exactly what I suspected, right? When a man runs to the internet to go and drag his family, that is not a man in that moment. That's a person who has lost his essence as a man at that point in time. That's a person who is crying out for help to the wrong audience, right? That's a person, and that's a testament. We can only wonder how he behaves inside of the relationship, right? But there's a good chance it's probably something close, right? But today has proven to be that situation, you know. Yep. So yeah, let's talk about it. I'm gonna read this from people.com. It says Kiki Palmer granted temporary sole custody. It's temporary. Obviously, it can only be temporary. Temporary sole custody of son Leelas, 8 months, with no visitation for ex Darius Jackson. Ouch. That must hurt, right? Do you know that even when the man is the perpetuator of the bad behavior, he can still be hurt that he's not going to see his children? Or do you know that that's still going to affect the child too? All right, so what do you do with that? Nothing. There's nothing much you can do. It's just a sad situation, right? That's why you must do everything in your power to prevent these situations before it happens. How do you prevent it before it happens? You stop telling yourself that everybody's relationship is different. There is no manual for relationship. There is no manual. Some people even say there's no manual to life. I was in an argument yesterday about that, and it's not that deep. I was just in the spirit. Engaging a few people on Clubhouse, and they were adamant about there is no this person. That's where I got the whole book thing from. The person said, you can't learn how to talk to women inside of a book. I was like, a part of me wants to agree with that because I've never struggled with talking to women. But the other side of me, that's calm down, okay? Humble yourself. Just because you had it okay does not mean there are other areas of life where you struggled and you had to read a book, right? And these people were like, you go into that to go and read it. And they were trying to shame this young man who said, I read a book and the book helped me, right? There's a 29-year-old young man who is seemingly a virgin, and he was asking for advice. And somebody said, just be yourself. I was like, just be yourself. Like, that sounds cute. It's beautiful. Of course you should be yourself, right? But that's disconnected from what he's saying. He's saying, I've been myself. Are you going to argue with him with being himself? He's been himself, but he hasn't generated the result he's looking for. He doesn't want to be a virgin, right? But here we go. Somebody said, just be yourself. You don't have to be in a rush. He's 29. He doesn't want to be a virgin. I just say you don't have an answer for him. It's very simple. Instead of saying, just be yourself. Don't nobody should be recommending books for you and stuff like that. I was like, But these are the kind of things that's going on out there. People are telling themselves that there is no rules to life. There's no one size fits all. Those things are correct on surface, on paper. The issues are in application. Exactly what are you applying this concept to, right? Are you applying it to say, I don't need to improve on nothing. I am perfect the way I am. There's nothing to improve. But when you look in your mirror, you feel differently, right? In the moment, you might feel better because you tell yourself a lie, right? In the long run, you come back to reality and you still feel some type of way, right? There's nothing in life. The only thing that we disrespect in this way is romance, romantic relationships, and marriage. There's nothing else in life that we settle like that with. Well, you just say, hey, just be yourself, enjoy it. Everything else in life, we are open to reading books and improving ourselves, right? But when it comes to this one thing, the ones that has the power to destroy you emotionally the most, we just say, just do you. And then we're still arguing, and then we don't realize why there's struggles everywhere. I beg, hit the like button. Thank you. All right. And by the way, if you come here and you're watching replay tomorrow morning, please make sure you say something in the chat for those replay gang people. I appreciate you. But I'm continuing to read. Okay. Mother and son have also been granted a temporary restraining order following claims of abuse in a court filing on Thursday. Kiki Palmer has been granted a temporary sole custody of her 8-month-old son. On Thursday, the Nope actress, 30 years old, filed a request for a domestic violence restraining order against the infant father, Darius Jackson, in Los Angeles. Palmer asked the court for full physical and legal custody of Leelas. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name right. Detailing multiple allegations of physical abuse in the filing, according to documents reviewed by People. All right, that's what we got. All right, it collected with very well. Then, well, what's wrong with reading a book? Fools that do not acquire knowledge, but going to the internet to make noise. So they said they read the book. I said, they said our forefathers, did they read the book? I said our forefathers educated themselves. Are you mad? They educated themselves. They told themselves stories. They told us stories. They sat down in the evening, told themselves stories. They shared ideas with each other. They educated themselves. Don't get it twisted, right? Don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about the English or the accent. You have to educate yourself. As if somebody is struggling with something, it's okay for them to educate themselves, right? Absolutely, you can learn and unlearn. Absolutely. In fact, majority of it is unlearned because sometimes life is always evolving, right? So, but you have to replace some of those old knowledge with new knowledge, right? Some of those old knowledge, you've tried it, it didn't work. Once upon a time when somebody told you about it and they said, there's no rules to life. It sounded sweet. It felt like you were educated. Yeah, let me stop pressurizing myself. It was applicable to your situation. Maybe you were pressurizing yourself with other people's life on social media. But when you get to a space where you're confused and you know that, well, I'm still creating a result I don't like. Since I'm no pressure, but I want to improve myself, right? It just doesn't make any sense to push against that with everybody should do what they want. Oh yeah, that's another one. That all those things are they are very triggering for me, by the way. I try to calm down, just say, what's that? What do you mean? Because sometimes too, I can be way too ahead. So I just wait for them to land because it is applicable in certain situations. I don't think you can operate well in a place of pressure either. But we're in a space that we're on the extreme other end, okay? No more pressure. Okay, it's time to improve. Let's say the boy has Yoruba cap with Tombolo printed on it. That is funny, which is very true. He's a tiny man. What? That is funny. How did you look that far, D-Love? Jesus Christ. How do you do when you're trying to improve your life? How do you do when you're trying to improve your life? Mad people everywhere. Mashio, thank you. Everywhere, okay? They always go to the forefather narrative like humanity cannot improve. Anyway, let's continue this on Thursday. That's today. No, that was yesterday apparently. Okay, that was Thursday, right? So she filed a restraining order, all of that, all right? In response to the emergency filing, the Los Angeles County judge granted a temporary restraining order that states that Jackson must stay at least 100 yards away from both the actress and their son, as well as any child care or schooling established for the infant. In addition to granting Palmer temporary sole physical and legal custody of Leo, the temporary restraining order states that Jackson is not allowed to have visitation with his son, with a hearing set for December 5 to determine further action on the temporary arrangement. All right. In fact, this boy now Igbo, this boy now real bororo, but I don't like showing babies video on this stuff, so I'll keep that out. Now, Jackson seemed to address the situation late Thursday, sharing a photo of himself holding Leo in a tweet on Twitter, right? On X. "I love you, son. See you soon." He captioned the shot. This guy does not learn anything. He has not learned. Well, it's very hard to learn when you are inside of crisis. That's why it's better to not wait until you are inside of crisis. And if you do find yourself inside of crisis and you remember this moment, right? Count down 30, 29, 28, 27. By the time you get to 25, you're probably already calming down, but make sure you finish it, okay? Don't teach this until you've done this about 30 times in your lifetime. Like you've seen yourself in the middle of crisis and you've practiced it, right? Don't be teaching theory all over the place unless you know what you're talking about. That's another struggle with a lot of people. They read books, they don't read the book more than one time, and then they start to try to teach it. You can't turn these ideas or ideologies or these concepts, you can't turn them into religion. It will work against you because it will put you in a position where you're not listening anymore, right? Because you will assume that you know everything. This concept, you cannot read only one time and then start to teach it. It will backfire. You need to practice it. You need to read it multiple times. Okay? So it's very hard when, how much more somebody who is already in crisis. The coconut head, they can't listen now. Right? In fact, they feel like the victim right now. Right? He's going to feel like the victim right now. And there's going to be enough men that will support that he's a victim on the internet. Oh, forget that. There's going to be women that will support the idea that he's a victim in this story. Okay? And keep in mind, the only victim in this scenario is that baby. Okay? The only victim in this scenario, as far as what we know for a fact, is what I am talking about. The one we know for a fact, any one of them two could have been a victim when we finish hearing the full story. Okay? But the only one we know for a fact that is a victim right now is the baby. All right? So in the declaration attached to Thursday's filings, Palmer alleges that there were many instances of physical violence, including striking and grabbing me around the neck. Trigger alert. Okay. Description of Darius destroying my personal property, including diaries and prescription of eyeglasses, throwing my belongings into the street, throwing my car keys to prevent me from driving away, hitting me in front of our son, spewing profanities about me to our son. Well, for her, she has to be a completely evil woman for her to tell all of this as lies. If all of these are lies and this is documented in under oath somewhere right now, she has to be a completely evil woman. And I doubt it. All right. Now, what about him? Is he completely an evil man? Right? I doubt it too. I doubt it. I don't think so. I think this is your typical case. If you don't think this is a typical case, get off your high horse and calm down from that pedestal. Okay? Yeah. Maybe yours is not physical. Maybe yours is your mouth. Do you realize it's just as bad? Or emotional abuse, right? Do you realize it's just as bad? Do you realize that you can emotionally destroy a person for the rest of their lives with how you treat them without touching them, right? So let's get off the high horse, okay? Some people they've gotten to this extreme where somebody has raised their hands. Like I keep saying, if somebody raised their hands, call the police immediately. Yes, I don't care if it's a woman that raised her hands. You need to call the police immediately. She needs to sleep in jail for at least one night so she can reset. It is not acceptable from whoever. Gentlemen, you can't come and tell me she provoked you. The moment you start smelling anything that's close to it, walk away. Now, that's easier said than done. It takes strength to walk away from somebody that you actually love and you're trying to, my point is, but the point I'm trying to make is, it's toxic, okay? You're high. You need to get away from that situation because that excuse is not going to pass. Oh, he made me do it. She was always running her mouth. Ignorance will not be an excuse either. Anyway, let me continue. So if she's saying he did all of this, it's highly likely it happened. Now, the only part she won't tell us is what part of it, what was he reacting to? That is not an excuse. Gentlemen, that's not an excuse. But what was he reacting to? Right? Of course she won't tell you that. That's why I'm telling you, gentlemen, don't wait until you have to do shalaye, because if you do shalaye with no evidence, Baba, you go shalaye tired. Okay? Your kid might be taken away from you forever.
You go explain because no evidence.
Forever. Because keep in mind, she's actually much more powerful than this guy in terms of resources. Your baby might be taken away from you forever. You know? So let's be guided. Latu, you remember me today? How are you? Welcome. I know you guys are always watching replay, so shout out to you all. Let's see. And if then you ask if their forefather had a YouTube account, they will say times have changed. You guys have been having some conversations now. Seriously, that's your response to abuse? What is it? What did I miss? Yeah, let's continue. We didn't finish yet. We have to finish first. So throwing my belongings into the street, throwing my car keys to prevent me from driving her away, hitting in front of our son, spewing profanities, blah blah blah. Yes, there's no like that. If she's lying, yeah, she will. Yeah, and I doubt it. Reps and lawyers for Palmer have not responded to multiple requests from people for comment. Of course not. It's too early, right? So, and there's a post here where it says, I love you, son. See you soon. The picture of the baby is there, so I won't be showing it. Palmer and Jackson's issues briefly went public in July when Jackson called her out. Okay, this is the backstory that we knew. Called her out for wearing a fitted black bodysuit under a sheer dress to watch Usher perform at his Las Vegas residency. We live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't. This is him, and I quote, right. This was the comment that I analyzed. That it was obvious to me that this man, he thought control was a good strategy, right? He's not going to admit that he's using control. I get it. Like, they generally don't admit that. I'm not being controlling. They won't. I'm not expecting you to admit, okay? But it's called controlling when you go to the internet to say, I don't get to control my girl, and you say it indirectly, backwards. Some of us can read it. You are thinking control is a strategy to maintain a family. It is not, okay? The only thing you can use is influence. Influence has to be earned. Respect has to be earned. Trust has to be earned, right? It's a function of how you move as a man. If you don't understand that, I'm sorry, you deserve all the water that comes to you, because it's not just about you. It's about 8 billion people. I keep saying that, you know this, right? And there are some principles that work across the board. Yes, even inside of marriage. Yes, even inside of romantic relationship, there are principles that work across the board, right? And it's no wonder that you don't know the principle exists if you said there is no principles. If you said there's no rules to life, there's no rule to these things, everybody should just do what they want. Of course, that would make sense to me that you collect woto from your partner, right? So there we go. So he says we live in a generation when a man, this is what he's saying, when a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. Yeah, I don't think it's hating. Hating is, the issues are deeper than being a hater. He wasn't being a hater. The issues are worse than him being a hater. All right, the issues are much worse than that. This, calling him a hater, is simplifying it, which is probably coming from a place of ignorance as well. It's simplifying the much of a major issue. This is a man who lost control of his household, right? So, and he calls it, well, a man is, can't tell the mother of his kids, no, yeah, you're actually right. You can't tell her what to do if she's lost respect for you.
You're right.
It's too late. You can't tell her what to do. There are situations where you can actually tell her what to do, right? But you wouldn't have to force it. You wouldn't have to run to the internet, right? So that's what we addressed a few months ago. So let me not go too much all over that again. But it was obvious at the time that this man thinks he can use controlling, forceful, mouthy, tell the truth. Let me tell you my truth, right? Tactics to control his woman. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You're going to get tired. You're going to spend too much of your emotional energy, and it still won't work. So you'll be frustrated. You will hold resentments in, and then the next time you blow up again, it will be worse, right? And by the time it's worse, it might be too late. You might end up in jail, This situation where custody is taken away from him temporarily and there's a restraining order, it's probably the best. It's probably the best case scenario from what she just described. You know, let's keep going. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. All of that is just a cry out for help, and it's an indication that he did not have the skills to be the head of a household. Yes, it is a skill. It's a skill set, and most people don't have them. So it's not. No, he's not. No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not a monster. Okay, if you think it's a monster, you will probably end up attracting another monster, because you'll be seeing monsters everywhere. However, what I'm going to tell you is that there are consequences for this behavior. Okay, and the consequences are grave in nature. Because for you to erase being a woman beater out of your name, good luck. Good luck with that. That's worse. That's more of a worse consequence than calling him a monster. Calling him a monster is like acting like he's the only one out there. There's many of them out there. And if we're going to educate them to learn how to position themselves so they don't end up in this space ever again, we need to apply empathy in addressing the situation. Okay? We need to apply empathy. It does not exonerate him from the punishment. He's going to be punished. He's already been punished, right? It's going to get worse, right? Because again, the worst thing you can do to a man is tarnish his image, his name, right? And calling a person a man beater. See, I can say here that I can't call him a monster. That's not going to stop the rest of the world from calling him a monster. Majority of people are going to call him a monster right now, and that's a real consequence he has to endure. But let's say in the situation where you end up with a brother, you end up with a son, right? God forbid, right? Who has committed the worst, the ultimate in this story, right? Yeah, do you want to wait until that before you understand how this works? No, like a lot of people need to be educated. A lot of women need to be educated, right? To not encourage, enable bad behavior, starting from verbal altercations. A lot of men will wake up and it's a newsflash and he found out that a lot of men will kneel down and start begging and say, I'm sorry. I told myself, I don't know if you've seen it before. I told myself that would never be me. They will start crying. It's too late. Gentlemen, if you end up in that space, it's too late. It's too late. But the nature of not having communication skills, no, not nature, the consequences of lack of communication skills is grave. That's what you need to understand. That's the lesson you need to take away from this. The lesson is not to call him a monster. That's not the lesson. The lesson is for you to understand the grave consequences of not knowing how to communicate or staying in a relationship where communication skills has not been nurtured. There are grave consequences for it. That's the real lessons here. Because this can be anybody. And that's a fact. That's why you keep seeing the story everywhere. Okay? Do you realize that she went back? She actually went back to him and they were celebrating at a Beyonce concert. How many people remember that? Yeah, if it was as simple as him being a monster, she wouldn't have done that. There are real reasons why those things happen like that. And what we need to be encouraging people is for them to get help. If you ever see yourself black out because you were having a conversation with your romantic partner, you need to seek help because it might be too late. Allah is not going to save the rest of the world from calling you a monster when it does happen. It's going to be too late, you know. Anyway, the actress told people in October she felt the need to make changes in how transparent she's willing to be with the public on social media. I'm having my own personal boundaries for what I feel like I want out there. That's because she was feeling shame, okay? Not because she didn't want to. She's been a star for the longest. she's used to telling a full story. But now she's saying that she wanted some personal boundaries, blah, blah, blah. She has her own. No. But what I want to give people the opportunity to speak on, no, she was feeling shame. She didn't want our mouth in our issues. She was trying to protect it. She knew it was that bad, but she was trying to still, like, right? If you ever see your partner black out, or be you black out, you need help. Okay? As a matter of fact, if you're in the United States, there's a hotline number, 1-800-799-7233. We're not specialists when it comes to domestic violence stuff here. Okay, so if you're experiencing any kind of domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233, or the hotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. So that's what's going on with that situation right there. Again, many of us are very quick to ask for, where can we finish? Can we hear the other side of the story? Some things are obvious. A man run to the internet is saying that his woman, that situation is already bad. You're looking at the tip of the iceberg. It's already bad. He would consider himself a good man. I don't think it's relevant. That's all. I just don't think it's relevant if you're a good man or not, right? You're a good man. They're a good man that end up in jail because, they end up in the wrong circle. They end up committing the utmost. They stole money. They got lost in the source of embezzlement of money. Yeah. I'm not going to sit down here and argue if they're a good man or not, right? A lot of them have second chances that they fix their lives. Many of them come back out and they repeat the same pattern, right? The consequences is what we need to pay attention to here. The consequences of this behavior is grave, And what is the behavior? Everything since the beginning. You have to go back to before the DV. When people started yanning and they don't know how to have a conversation, you have to go back to that. Because that's what leads, like, nobody fall out of the skies to do that. Oh, some do, there are exceptions. We don't talk about those people here, okay? Because I'm not a specialist, all right? But I'm telling you that majority of people, right, they can participate in bad communication strategies and find themselves in the wrong side of the town. That's so easy. If you don't think it's easy, then you haven't really lived life. That's why you're saying that. But let me come to the chat, because it's quite late and we won't be able to do long. Shout out to all the 18 people watching. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. I can't monitor the likes because I'm not in my studio. But please do me a favor, hit that like button and let's do it. So let me go to some of the chat. Let's read some chat. Oh, let me drop just in case. I'll drop the. So maybe you guys might have some other angles to this. I'm open. I want to hear it for a few minutes. I'll drop it for a few minutes. If nobody calls in, I will end it abruptly. I will try to be back. I like this. This wasn't bad. Maybe I'll do 1 hour, 2 hours live daily. It's definitely different to engage you guys live. Definitely quite different and better. But I'll drop the link just in case. All right. Let's see. Yep, he and his brother do not have the resources to go against Kiki, and she has receipts. Yeah, it's gonna be very bad for him because the brother, what I've seen is that the brother is also running his mouth online, and I think Kiki's mother also came out with some allegations. She's testifying and that your brother, you should speak to your brother. I was like, yeah, it's just messy. It's sad. I think for me, it's a sad situation when I see this kind of stuff. It's not stuff that I can laugh about or point fingers about. The only thing I want to do is, what are the lessons here? I think the main lesson is communication skills. Okay, conflict handling, crisis handling. Those are the conversations we need to be having. Okay, when you end up in a situation where you have a different opinion from your partner, if it touches a spot, if it touches the wrong spot, the wrong nerve, how do you respond? What if they got triggered because you tend to shut down? Your own style is you shut down. You don't want to talk about it. What if they say, well, let's talk about it. I was raised that we don't go to bed as husband and wife, not sleeping. And you're like, Ninja, I'm done. Right? And that, you don't realize that triggers him. You don't realize that can send him. Is that your fault? No, it's not your fault. I'll tell you which part is your fault. Okay? If anything has to be fault at all, right, is applying common sense. Okay? Common sense, we end up in the poto all the time. Okay? Because after all, think about it. What you consider common sense is a function of how you were raised too. Right? And there's usually a blind spot. You don't take the time to understand that person that you married or that you're with, there's a good chance you don't know the first 15 years of their life. You don't know what made them, right? But you're just being yourself, your personality. No, I just need time, right? Is that your fault? No. Ultimately, none of this is your fault. But you need to educate yourself. When you're doing any kind of collaboration with another human being, especially when we're talking about marriage, you need to understand that there's got to be more to that than common sense. Okay, it's got to be more to that now. Come on. On the spot live, what's going on? Good to see you. That possessive jealous trait can look cute and make a broken person feel special. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. Both of them are coming off as spoiled brat of some sort to me. But they're adults, so I can't. That's not an excuse. They're literally adults. She's 30 years old, right? Once you are 21 years of age, you enter a romantic relationship. You can't come and tell me anything, though. You know, you can. I guess you can blame it on social media. Social media allow people to just think they can jump into a relationship and just press eject, and everybody move on their own way. Baba, you collect. Both of you will collect, because that trauma that you just generated will follow you everywhere you go. Everywhere. Okay? With this annoying voice like he's talking about inside one calabash that has juju inside. I swear, I don't like that boy. Oh. You guys follow them, so I don't really follow them like that. What's going on, Patricia? Good to see you. Our mother came for them. Yeah, the mother came for them. I think I might have I'm not sure if I have a video of that here. Let me see here. Let me read this really quickly. Palmer claimed that she has security footage from November 5 incident in which Jackson trespassed into my home without my knowledge or consent and threatened her before lunging for my neck, striking me, throwing me over the couch, and stealing my phone. She went on to allege that there have been many instances of physical violence with Jackson that include, it's terrible. Throwing my, we already read that. It's terrible. Let me just share this small one, okay? Trigger alert. This is some screenshot. They're screenshots, so I can show just a little bit of it, right? Of what looks like some kind of clear torso, but he looks like he's hovering, like his hand is over like this, right? There's only one way to interpret this. Like, you should never find yourself in this position, gentlemen. There's no way to explain this. You will explain tired, right? You just explain tired. Look at this. Is that him with his hands up? Okay, trigger alert, okay? And that's him again, some kind of dragging or something like that. So that could have been anything, but gentlemen, that's probably the story we're probably going to hear next. Well, we were tussling and tried to do phone, and then we were, it was the phone. She took my phone, Baba. Letting go is very hard for human beings. You gotta let go. You gotta learn how to let go, not just physical things, but your ideologies, right? Especially ideologies, emotional level stuff. You have to let go, because no one is going to explain to Miss Leela here that you're not a monster. It's not gonna happen. Oh yeah, and your punishment is probably you're gonna be treated like a monster. in terms of your family, not being able to access your family anymore. I'm just letting you know. Don't wait until that point. In fact, I was hearing a conversation today. Somebody was literally saying they would trigger alert. This is a trigger alert thing. I have to keep saying that. Somebody was saying they would train, like if somebody's daughter slapped their son, that they would train their son to slap that daughter back. Gentlemen, listen to me clearly. Sorry, my lips is dry. Baba, you will lose the most at the end of the day. Okay? Why? Because you're already a loser. You're competing with women in that way. You're already a loser now. Why? Yeah. So the world will reward you accordingly. Yeah, it won't work. Okay? Yeah, you know how they ask you, I say, what did you do too? Yeah. No, it's not only that people will ask you like that in public or in public opinion. Or even in the court of law, it's designed like that. It's designed to protect the vulnerable. So if you have pictures like this, let me take this picture off the screen. Sorry about that. If you have pictures like this floating around the internet of you in some kind of interaction with a woman, yeah, it's too late. You collect, you know. I just came back. No, they're not married. No, they're not married. No. I heard Kiki Palmer was a sheltered child. Yes. She's been a star all her life, basically, since she was little. Sheltered kids tend to end up in abusive relationship due to lack of exposure to relationship. There's a video of her out there having a conversation with Steve Harvey, where Steve Harvey was trying to hook her up. Say you need a billionaire. So what? I don't think Steve Harvey was talking about the money part, but I think she wanted to be a regular girl. So this guy seems like a regular young dude. He doesn't have his own money, but hey, it's not all about money, right? You're right. Okay. Yes, it becomes about money. If he's insecure, and you can connect the dot all the way back to money, it will seem like it's about money, but it's not really that. He's insecure, right? And if he's insecure, it cannot make you feel safe and secure, right? You see how that works? Could it work? It can't work. Let's see. I am not surprised she was in the industry from a very young age. Yeah. Anyone who says he's a victim after seeing the clips of him laying his hands, victim care. Wait. Let me read this. Anyways, after laying his hands on her like in a choking position on the couch, laying hands on their staircase and other places. Yeah, listen. Like I said, there's none of those explanations that will work right now. It's too late. It's too late, right? It's too late. Let's see here. I remember she went to Beyonce's concert. That's why I was surprised to hear this. Yeah, the thing is, you were surprised to hear this. People go back to their abuser all the time. You know that, right? They do. Why? Because it's not that simple. It's not that easy. It's not. Yeah, it's easier said than done. Because there's a reason. There's a value they're getting in that relationship. There's a reason why they were there in the first place. And oftentimes, the competition between the risk versus the benefit, especially when you mix that up with emotions, it's not easy. It's not easy. So what I'll say is this, right? The way our society is structured, the way it's set up, right? With regards to the relationship between man and a woman, right? These pictures, they don't look good. Do you know why they granted her those instant restraining order? Why do you think they granted her that instant restraining order? And full custody of the child? Somebody saw those pictures and like, nah. We can't risk, at the very minimum, we cannot risk you getting around these people until we sort this issue out. See, they're not concluding, but at least until December 5, you don't get to come around there. You know why? Because those pictures look terrible. They look bad. Okay. Now, the question is, who took those pictures? That would be something I'm interested about, right? It wasn't actually a picture. Those are just screenshots from a footage. It's a video footage. There's some kind of camera in the house and stuff like that, right? Right? Because the person who is responsible for the videos, they tend to also be on their best behavior, right? Now, if he knew those cameras were there and he still behaved that way, I'm not going to talk any more than that. I think you guys will get triggered. Okay? All right? Because at that point in time, yes, absolutely is a monster, but there's more to that story. If he knew those cameras were there and he behaved that way, he's absolutely a monster who did not care. He became a monster, at least in that moment, right? But there's more to that story. And you will find out as we're going, because we're not going to cover all of it today, right? Obviously, you will see. See, I keep saying you will see, right? This was 4 months ago, right? You will see that there's more to this story, right? That's why they're probably having an hearing on December 5, you know. But that situation was obviously toxic long before the Usher concert. Can we all agree on that, first of all? Can we agree that that situation, Kiki Palmer should not have been in that situation long before the Usher concert? Yeah? Can we agree to that? Those pics are from February 13, 2022. No, that's multiple. That's okay. So that's conflicting stories now. There's another part of the story that said those pictures were from November 5. Or is she saying she does have some kind of footage from November 5? That's like yesterday. Right? That's like yesterday. So I'm not sure. I saw that somewhere too, and I'm like, okay, because some people are trying to use that to discount. Well, it doesn't matter if that picture is from 5 years ago too, right? Bottom line, gentlemen, you don't want such pictures of you out there, you know. How do you prevent that? Don't be that guy. It's very simple. Don't be that guy. How do you prevent not being that guy? If you see a situation that's escalating beyond your control, don't even wait for your keys. Call Uber. Maybe phone, right? Don't use the phone to start filming as evidence. That's stupid. Don't be a Jamie out here, okay? That's stupid. You need to leave. You need to leave. You need to back completely off of that situation. But what about my child? Baba, you had a child with a woman now, and the mother will take care of the child temporarily. If you don't want the court to force you to leave her and the child alone until December 5, you need to let go of that situation. Back off. Because there's no story you're going to tell that's going to add up. You're not a woman, so you're not the same thing as your woman. There's no court of law that's going to, especially with those pictures. Okay, that pictures were not pictures. It's actually a footage. So there's a footage of some kind of motion that they probably don't want to put out because it probably be too triggering. It's going to be bad for him, and I don't think he realizes it yet. That's why he's still going on Twitter talking about "see you soon, son." You need to shut the hell up and go and sit down somewhere. That's something you should have done a long time ago. Hey, let's see here. They said when she was pregnant. Okay, so you guys probably see more of the story than me. Unpopular opinion, I think she was color struck with his complexion. It is an unpopular opinion. Yeah, but you know, yeah, I don't think that's relevant to this story since we see people with the same complexion, they beat each other up too. Terrible. Bad. She refused to listen to Uncle Steve. Yeah. Security camera. Yeah, security camera. Yeah. So, let's see. As a sheltered child, I was in both toxic, romantic, and platonic relationships, so I can relate to Kiki. Oh, okay. I hear that. I don't think Kiki has a type though. There's documentation that there have been issues since February of this year. Oh, shout out to Miss Ann. How are you, Miss Ann? I'm not sure about that, sis. Miss is cute, but that's not enough to be with a man. Yeah, I don't know. For some people, it might be enough. But again, I don't think it's relevant. For some people, they might just... right? There's a way she kept gushing about his looks. I tried looking at him from different angles. I don't see fitness anywhere. It was a personal trainer too, right? He needs to crawl back to his old and get his life in order. Yeah, it's going to be bad for him. So, You know, when I'm applying empathy, applying empathy to their family, because they have to remain family regardless of what's going on, right? That's that. So and more so that child, that child is gonna have to deal with that for the rest of his life. This news are stamped everywhere. Can you imagine the trauma of seeing the story of your father, and they did the ultimate to your mother, and you love both of them? Do you think it's just the father is the enemy? No, it's confusing. It's confusion, right? That is going to become a confused adult at some point later on until they figure that out. So let's see. MOP, he will not have been caught in such a situation if he has not done it. If he has not done it before. Yeah, listen. The look of that. Let me explain something to you. I generally tell men, don't wait until we prove it that you're actually a monster. Baba, you don't have to be an actual monster before you're called a monster. There's certain positions you shouldn't be found in as a man, period. For example, you shouldn't be found running your mouth, cursing women out on the internet. Everything is taped, recorded. But somebody has to hold this woman accountable. You're missing the point. The consequences are greater than whatever the stupid accountability you're looking for. It will haunt you, right? So even if for some reason that was acting, let's say it was some kind of acting, it's too late. It's too late. The point is that it's just a terrible position for it. Like by the time we get to the worst case scenario, right, which is a man is just like doing that, right? By the time we get to that point, the issue has been much like it's been like it's already terrible long before that. So the point is that how much more that is just this bad at this point in time, So I want to be careful with the topic. Because it's very crazy. There are literally people listening on the sidelines for something they can capture from here. The point is this. The main point you should run away from me, Ola. The point you should get away from this is this: your communication skills. I'm not talking about you talking. Talking is not communication skills. Okay, these types of issues start long before it becomes this what you're looking at right now, which is probably more so an entertaining for you, right? Let's talk about the real issues, which is your relationship, right? In your relationship, your communication skills is everything. I'm not talking about your partner right now. I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about both of you now. I'm talking about you as an individual. Your communication skills is everything. It is part of your communication skills when you can tell that I can get a point across to this person and then you leave. That's part of your communication skills because you realize that communication is not happening. You communicate with your action. Okay? Majority of the communication tactics and measures you will have to use if you understand communication, it's not going to be verbal. You start with verbal, but sometimes some people are coconut head, they're not hearing what you're saying. They need to see your action. They need to see you demonstrating self-love, self-respect, self-esteem before they get the message. And a lot of time people lack communication skills and they want to land the point by point. The point is, the point is not landing after the second, third time. You need another way to express yourself. And if what you're trying to express is that you deserve love, you have to demonstrate self-love first. Because people don't have a choice than to respect that, than to mimic that. They don't really have a choice. So backing off sometimes is still a form of communication. You're saying, whoa, let's handle this to another time. You know what? I don't know what's going on. Back off. That is a form of communication. Okay? Especially if you've tried to express yourself or you feel like you can't get a point across, let it go. Let it go. Maybe it's not a permanent decision, but you're so afraid to let it go because you don't know if somebody else will replace you so soon. Well, you're demonstrating lack of self-esteem, self-value. So I'm not blaming you for being a victim. That we left that topic alone, right? I'm just saying this is where it starts. Because if you realize that you can't get your point across, you won't wait until it escalates. Because you won't even smell that. You won't wait until you start to look for evidence. Let me pull out the camera so I can get evidence for the court. We need to start normalizing that people should not talk. Like, I don't want to say the word tolerate, right? Because some people take that over the board too, but precisely tolerate. If a person is moving mad, they don't know how to keep their hands to themselves. Or they are waving hands like this in your face when they are talking. Baba, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? What do you think? You think you're a macho person? You're going to stop them suddenly by just talking? No, they can't receive whatever you're trying, whatever stupid stuff you're trying to say. It's not landing. Let it go. Let it go. When you let go, sometimes they will get the message. Sometimes it's a permanent decision, and that should be okay. We should make that okay. Okay? We should make that okay. Yeah, attractiveness is in the eyes of the beholder. That's not the issue here. I'm hoping that Kiki and the baby will be safe. I hope so too. Anyone who can have blind spots when it comes to a type. It's relevant because that is what causes people to ignore red flags. Yeah, that's why I said some people, right? But at some point, I have to stay focused on face forward. This issue can happen to any relationship where they lack communication skills. When you lack communication skills and the situation also lack leadership, clearly this situation lack leadership, right? Leadership is a very scarce commodity, right? Particularly in romantic relationships. It is needed, right? But sometimes people get into this place of equality and they try to do, oh, we should talk. And then before they realize, they blink and it's already escalated. Somebody's already waving hands in your eyes. What they really were trying to do is communicate, but they were talking. They were talking at each other, not talking to each other, not listening to understand, but listening to respond. No, let me be clear about something to you guys here before we round off for today. Not listening to understand. We're all guilty of that. That's why I said put yourself down from the pedestal first of all. Okay. Well, all of us are guilty of that. You know how you feel. You know what you're trying to say, right? And you already could read where they're going ahead of them. Remember, we started this session with assumptions. How dangerous assumptions are. And I said, in spite of patterns, you've seen patterns, you kind of know where they're going for real. They're probably going to prove it. You should still, for your own good, as part of your communication strategy, communication skills, don't make assumptions. Let them land the point. Practice your own patience. The patience is for yourself. It's for your own good, right? Let them, once they land it, clarify before you even respond. Child is like, what I'm understanding is that you're saying this, that, right? Yeah, I disagree. It's not the disagreement that causes issue. It's lack of communication skills. I disagree. Why don't we do it this way? Well, no, I don't like it that way. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's it. And then at some point but the conversation is going on, right? It's communication skills. But before they landed their point, you interrupted them, you interjected. Before you land your point, they've interjected you. So you feel some type of way too, right? But instead of saying, well, this person lacks communication skills, let them go. Let them exhaust themselves. Let that person exhaust themselves since they want to talk so badly. After they finish talking, you say, well, I'm going to my mother's house. Let me know when you're ready to have a conversation. I'm going to the hotel room for tonight. I mean, I'm not saying you should do that randomly, willy-nilly, anyhow. But I'm saying if it's already in a situation where you are smelling this kind of situation around the corner, it's okay to go to the hotel room for the week. It's perfectly okay if you can afford it. If you can't, go to a friend's house. Oh, trust me, heaven is not going to fall out of the skies. You'll be fine. Everybody will be fine. Okay? You know when people are not going to be fine? When you drag each other to court. When your baby father has become the monster, you will not be fine too. I promise. It's not that simple. After you call him monster uncle, what else? What's next? You have the rest of your life ahead of you. That child that you're carrying, that child needs to be safe. Not just physically, emotionally, right? So none of this is it is the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Prevention is better than cure. Okay? Prevention is better than cure in driving, in everything else in life, in our career. The only place where we wait until things are too bad and then we make people bad and evil is in relationship. We're disrespectful to relationships. The very one thing that's destroying everybody out there. We think we should just wing things along. Common sense. And you can see it's not working. We're going to keep coming up with these stories. It is not working. It's time to learn something new. This is so does not look good for him. Yeah, it's going to be bad for him. Standards of beauty do not exist in a vacuum. There are many social factors. I agree with you, keepers. Listen, I'm on the same page with you, by the way. But I think you're talking to somebody else in the chat. I'm saying that perhaps there may be emphasis on the person's character type than the physical. Yeah, I think you guys are saying the same thing. Why would someone like Kiki not have physical bodyguards? She shouldn't be relying only on surveillance. I don't know if that's relevant to this. This is somebody she slept with to have a baby. Right? So whatever reason that she deemed to not have a bodyguard, it probably had nothing to do with him. Right? It probably had in the last, how long they've been together, maybe 3, 4, 5 years, I don't know. They probably had 2 or 3 situations and she's like, it was just a situation like, I'm sorry, that will never happen again. Ouch, bad idea. Bad idea. He needs to seek help. There's work that needs to be done. There's something about you that took you to that place. Maybe the way you saw your parents, maybe it was normal for them to raise hands. Maybe it was aunties. Maybe it was raised not by his parents. Who knows? But there's something to that. Like we just can't take the risk that just apology, I'm sorry, is enough. We can't. It's too dangerous, right? One little wallet that flies across the room can hit somebody and take them out. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. But yeah, I don't know if bodyguard could have helped. What if they were in the bedroom? The point is that this man is sick. He was sick for a long. He's been sick. And somehow they were trying to do life together. Will it work? I think they're lucky that the worst has not happened right now. Let's see. I'm rounding up in about 2 minutes. I hear you. On my side though, there's a point where character looks have to meet at all of that. There's about 2,000 other factors outside of race, the color, his character, personality. There's about 2,000 other ones I can't mention, but that I know for a fact. There's too many moving variables. What we know today is that anybody who is romantically engaged with another person and they have terrible communication skills between themselves, they can find themselves in this position. Okay? One of the individuals can become a victim easily. Right? Both of them can be victims easily. You never seen that before? Well, if you haven't seen it, I've seen it. Where both of them were the victim of themselves. Okay? If you haven't seen that yet, I have seen it. And I think it's actually more common than you realize. Okay? The point of this session is this. We're not talking about us. If you've experienced that, I'm sorry you've experienced something similar to that. No one should ever have to deal with domestic violence at any level. It is not proper. It is not correct. There's no excuse for it. Okay? What I want to talk about now though is our children. How can you teach them a system to position themselves so they would never find themselves in this place? Because you were not a bad person, but somehow maybe you were a victim. You found yourself in that kind of situation. You were not a bad person. How come you found yourself? Why you? Right? So it comes down to, it's not the good or bad people think it's not relevant. It's either you are the perpetrator or you're the victim. Either way, if you find yourself in that situation, somebody say, well, imagine somebody saying you deserve it, even though you're a victim. It won't feel good. That's not relevant. What we can do with this information is how do we train our kids or yourself, because you still have your life ahead of yourself, to position yourself to never have to deal with this kind of stuff? Right? Like, there should be no reasons to ever have to be afraid of your life. What? But Ola, why are you talking about life? It's just a slap. Baba, a slap can take person out though. He can. Physical assault is not okay at any level. I don't even when it comes to children, you know, when people say spare the rod, I say that spare the rod, you have to be careful with it. Just make sure you're not doing it out of anger. A lot of people are beating their kids out of anger. I don't even subscribe to that one either. A lot of spanking for a child that's not talking yet, just to correct. But you have an 11-year-old and you're pulling out switches and stuff. Are you mad? Is it that bad? You can't talk, can't use your mouth. You don't have patience with a teenager. Ugh. Anyway, so that's how far I take mine, right? But I think it really comes down to a matter of skill set around emotions. People don't know how to manage their emotions. So when they end up in this other space, instead of saying, well, what can we prevent? They just want to go for the head and say, well, that person is not like me. Well, no, that's not the lesson. The lesson is that we all need to learn how to manage our emotions. And sometimes the other person will need you. Okay? All right, so what's the lesson here? What's the lesson here? What's going on, Brother Ben? What's going on? Late night. We're rounding up right now. Gentlemen, let me talk to you first. Okay? If you ever find yourself in a situation where a person is talking to you, but they're using their hands, they're waving like this in your face, right? Conversation ends right away. Okay? I know the fear. But then they will say you are dismissive, that you never want to talk. Baba, it is better to be accused of that than to be accused of being a monster. Right? Let it go. The conversation ends immediately. I promise you, heaven will not fall out of the skies. Okay? This can be any man. Okay? If you ever felt any level of provoke, right? It can be anybody, right? There's only certain types of people that it won't be. People that don't even come close to it. You don't even wait for that. Like, we're waving hands. Okay, let's talk about this another time. No, we want to talk about it right now. I will call the police on you right now. You will call the police? You don't understand. I feel threatened. My life is threatened right now. I will call the police on you if you don't stop immediately. No, you will hold me like, Baba, at that point in time, don't lie to me. Tell me the rest of the story. You've been participating in bad communication in the past already. That's why she felt the need to do that. Am I blaming you? No. What I am saying is that your patience is being tested. Find any angle as soon as you can escape. That is not a situation you want to be in. Period. Okay? That's not a situation you want, because you're a man. She's a woman. Right? You're not built the same way physically and emotionally. And no excuses will be accepted once it's too late. That's why we call it it's too late. You just leave. I grew up with seeing my father would just grab his keys. So that's the way I was raised. I understand some people were not raised like that. Some people were not even raised with a father in the household. So I get it. But that's what I grew up. So my father would just grab his key like that. One of the two, my father shuts down. Well, you met him. He would just shut down. As he just grabbed his key, and by the time he comes back later, things would have been a little bit calm. It's not like they had much argument, by the way. It was just once a little bit of agreement, and he like his soft life. And for me, that's why you hear me say all the time here, you too, gentlemen, you deserve soft life. Don't let any situation, don't let the devil in you, your demon, take it away from you because you get upset, because you must land a point, a useless point. Now, ladies, let me talk to you for a second when it comes to this, right? The solution is going to be bigger. It's going to be much more bigger than the starting point is acknowledging that it's a terrible situation for anybody to go through, right? No one should ever have to go through that. And if you've ever been through that situation, I'm sorry you went through that situation, right? And there's no excuse for it. Just like I just told the gentleman, there's no excuse for it. Like, there's no explaining it. The only thing that might sound remotely close to excuse is how do we prevent this kind of stuff in the future? And what most people do is they shut down at the point of let's blame and let's keep it moving. They just shut blame. Once we hear enough people calling these people monster, we're okay and we keep it moving. And a lot of people just stop right there. No, we can't afford to stop right there because we got kids that we're raising, right? We also, if you've gone through that kind of situation, you need healing, right? You need healing because it's very easy to start seeing the rest of the world or seeing every situation like that, or not seeing a possible solution at all to it, right? And if in one breath we're saying, like I heard somebody say to like, these men are weird. That's what a lady was saying earlier on today when I was listening to some kind of radio. These men are weird. These men are weird. If you keep saying that, I'm not surprised that you keep seeing weird men everywhere, right? I'm not surprised. So, but that's not really a solution, and that's really projection at best, right? So in this kind of situation, but let's say that's even correct. Let's even say that is correct. That this man, a bunch of weird men everywhere, they're just evil monsters and stuff, right? Let's even say that's the situation, right? Wouldn't it be best to just avoid them all the way, all together, right? Yeah. I'm guessing there's more to that story. Well, the more to the story is what I'm talking about, right? We need to have conversations when we're, for example, in premarital counseling. The number one thing that I said anyone should go there to learn is conflict handling. The rest of those other things, they'll be tested. Both of you should love each other. Yeah, I know. Both of you should do date night every night. Yeah, I know. What happens when you come back from date night? During the date, you had argument, and now you're feeling some type of way, and now you're facing back like this on the bed. How do you handle that kind of situation? No one talks about that. They just create all these end-all be-all solutions, which is what we do when we shame, which is what we do when we blame, when we guilt trip, right? And all, let me indirectly say I am better than everybody else. It will never be me. No, we're all in the same boat, right? How? Because even if you avoid this person, we're going to meet other people, right? So how do we come up with a solution so that people are positioned to never have to be in that position? Both the person who can potentially hurt themselves, their reputation for the rest of their lives by being a monster, and the victim. Because this person are people's children. How can we, that conversation is what we need to be having, right? We can have the other conversations too, but we need to take it further, right? How do you handle conflict? I don't think you handle it by telling people that, you're my child. Lie, you will never beat a girl. If you say that to your child, that's terrible. That's terrible, okay? It's not the prayer that's terrible. Amen. Your child will never beat a person. Me. But that's terrible. I don't know. Like, that is not really education. Okay? That's not education. Especially our boys. Their emotional centeredness, self-control is something that we need to be a little bit more intentional when it comes to teaching it. Right? And not assuming that they can't find themselves in a place where they lost their cool. And potentially they can lose their life, their freedom, by just being positioned wrongly. Anger is not anybody's mate. Anger is temporary insanity. People can black out and then wake up, and then you be like, no, you're a monster. Well, their experiences, they blacked out. You never heard people black out before? Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, both sides, if you've ever blacked out before, you need help. You need to seek help. It is not a crime, okay? It is not even your fault, but there's a reason. It needs to be addressed. Okay, it needs to be addressed. Not direct experience, but people that are close to me. Okay, I've seen people grab stuff and hit their husband. Yeah, this were loved ones to me. These were normal loved ones to me. These were people that I've had conversations, sit down and have conversation with them, and they didn't seem like that type of person, right? But somehow anger took them over. You know, that story is very touchy for me because it's close to home, and I don't want to say too much about it because they could watch the show, and I don't want it to seem like I'm making them, you know. So, but we'll leave it at that. Let's see. Oh, I heard. Let's see. I heard Kiki's mom approached Darius' brother about a year ago regarding. Yeah, this has been going on. But Ben, sir, love your new studio. This is my mobile studio. I'm in a hotel room. Kiki is still on random sampling. Wala deal, wala. Ondo is far. They say Ondo is far, bro. But I mean, don't have time for bass boost. Yeah. It's all good, you know. I don't do date night. Just cook better egusi or vegetable. That one I date now. Imagine if you have that egusi and obeide in front of you and you're sitting together watching Nollywood movie together. You're not even paying attention, but you're just having a good time with your wife, right? It doesn't matter. In fact, you're on the phone, you're tap, you know. That's why I think all the rules are even making things worse. I think date nights are good, but I think a lot of people are, once they zone in on anything that sounds religious, they think that will fix it, and it backfires because it builds resentment, right? As opposed to just being friends, being bona fide, like a solid friendship, build a friendship with your partner, right? And then do random, like when it comes to date nights, the way my wife and I do date nights is just very random. Like she's like, oh, I'll take you out today. You're like, what are you doing? Like, I'll take you out today. Like, you know, it's very random. And honestly, we're going there to go and gossip about you guys. We're going there to go and gossip, right? It's not that deep. Once you get in that space where it's not that deep, you will have a better experience. Okay, you have better experience, and the way the channel to that, the road to, how do I say that? The way you do that is you make sure you're friends. You build a friendship. Okay, build a friendship. We can even talk about building friendship. Okay, because some people don't agree that I want you to be my lover and I want you to be my friends. I'm like, ouch. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Yes, so hey, do me a favor, shout out to everybody that came by tonight. Share the video, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. All right, I'll see you. I'll try. I like this late night stuff. Maybe I'll do more of it during the course while I'm still away right now. We'll see, you know. But again, hopefully you've been enlightened tonight, educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing time. I find a beautiful girl.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.